This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Good morning and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Thursday, March 3, in Squiz Kids Today. Hello Tassie, are you there? Sydney cops a soaking. Paraguay's disappearing city and dog rescued from icy island. That's what's making news, kids style.
The Lowdown.
Thousands of Sydney-siders were evacuated from their homes last night as the East Coast rain bomb continued along its destructive path, causing the Hawkesbury and Nepean rivers to break their banks. Residents of Sydney's northwest packed what belongings they could and headed for higher ground after the New South Wales government warned floodwaters could reach record levels. The Georges River in the city's south was also said to be rising fast, with residents there warned to be ready to leave. Sydney's turn in the rain bomb firing line comes as Brisbane, Lismore, Ballina and countless other towns in the southeast of Queensland and north of New South Wales start the long and slow clean-up process following the extraordinary weather event. Yesterday, as some Queensland schools reopened, more than 170 schools in northern New South Wales remained closed, many cut off by floodwaters, some 6 feet under. Stay safe out there, Squiz Kids. Hello Tasmania. Do you read me? Because for a moment there on Tuesday, you were cut off from the rest of Australia. I mean, with the Bass Strait and you being an island and all, you're always cut off. But thanks to a failure of what's called an undersea cable, all phone and internet lines into and out of Tassie were down for a 5-hour period on Tuesday. An undersea cable is just what it sounds like. A big cable that runs underneath the sea, made up of hundreds of fibres bundled together to carry internet signal and make phone calls possible. Flights into and out of Tassie were delayed, banks and ATMs were shut down, and people were unable to access social media. Imagine the horror. It was all caused by some drilling work in Victoria accidentally cutting the cable. Whoops-a-daisy.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in South America, in a country called Paraguay to be precise, where a massive fast-moving cloud of ash has engulfed the capital of Asunción. Engulfed means swallowed up, and this particular cloud of smoke and soot is hundreds of metres high and many kilometres wide. So you can see how it might choke an entire city. The smoke has travelled 250 kilometres north from bushfires burning out of control in northern Argentina. A strong, cold wind has apparently acted like a broom, scooping up soot and dust from burnt ground and sweeping it towards Paraguay. Residents of Asunción have been told to stay indoors and avoid breathing the muck, and Paraguayan birds were apparently so confused by the darkness they went into trees to roost, meaning sleep, in the middle of the day. I've put a link to an incredible video in your episode notes where you can see that terrible cloud roll in.
Animal Kingdom.
And it's a double-header doggy-inspired Animal Kingdom today, with not one but 2 tales from the canine world. That's Tales, T-A-L-E-S, not T-A-I-L-S, by the way. First up, and there's been an explosion here in Australia in the number of pups heading into doggy daycare. Turns out, lots of us adopted dogs during the pandemic to have company during lockdown. And now, as more and more big people head back to the office to work, dogs are being sent to doggy daycare centres, where they're having to get used to spending time with other pooches instead of humans. Oh, the indignity. My dog Louie would never go for that. And quickly across to the city of Detroit in the United States, where it's winter and freezing cold at the moment, and a dog has been rescued from a floating piece of ice. The pooch, who had only recently been adopted and escaped from his new home, had to be coaxed off his freezing platform and into the arms of a rescuer. The dog has since been reunited with his adoptive family and is said to have thawed out and is doing well. There's video of the rescue in today's episode notes. Louie and I both say woof to that.
Q&A call out.
Now here's a question. What do you get when you cross a Mr. Wolf with a Mr. Snake, a Mr. Piranha and a Mr. Shark? Only the coolest kids' books going around, that's what. I'm talking about Bad Guys, the extra awesome book series by Aussie author Aaron Blabey. Did you know there's a Bad Guys movie coming out in time for the next school holidays? And did you also know that Aaron Blabey is a big Squiz Kids fan, and so he's agreed to take the Q&A hot seat and answer any questions you might have for him. Squiz Kids Q&As, for those who don't know, are a chance for you, the kids of Australia, to ask questions of people in the news. So, don't just sit there. This is your chance to find out what it's like to be a best-selling kids author, where he gets his ideas for all of his books, and whether, as the author and illustrator of those books, he starts with the story first or the drawings. A huge thanks to all of the Squiz Kids who have sent in questions already. They're excellent. And remember, we've got 10 family passes to the movie to give away to the 10 best questions. So get cracking. Send your questions for Aaron to squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. And meanwhile, check out a couple of Bad Guys video links in today's episode notes, including the new movie trailer.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. Which state was accidentally cut off from the rest of Australia on Tuesday? That's right, it was Tasmania. Question number 2. What caused the cloud of ash choking the Paraguayan city of Asuncion? Yeah, that's right, it was bushfires. Question number 3. What was a pooch in Detroit floating on when he was rescued this week? You got it, it was a piece of ice.
Shout-outs.
It's March 3. Today is World Book Day, a worldwide celebration of reading, which I wholeheartedly endorse. It's also my 15th wedding anniversary, so excuse me while I pop out now and buy some flowers. Plus, it's a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Blake from Vermont South, Alba from Ivanhoe, Sky from Adelaide, Christian from Abbotsford, Emilia from Bellevue Hill, Jack from Manopara, Ashton from St Leonard's, and twins Gus and Taj from Perth. And a belated birthday wish to Jack from Hawthorne East. And classroom shout-outs today go to Class 6A and Mr Page at Mark Oliphant College in Manopara, Class 5C at St Dimpners Primary School in Aspley, and to Miss V and her Class 5-6V at Windsor Public School. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout-out, or if you're after a classroom shout-out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.